Hello, my Laravel developer. So today's topic is very interesting. Actually, I got some comments and some messages also in my WhatsApp. Like he was somewhere from uh, Canada, or he's from India and he's living in Canada. So he was telling like please like he want to learn something regarding Laravel, like how for interview how to prepare and all. Okay, so I thought I'll make video on that. It will be good, right? So I'm making one video that will be like regarding Laravel only. Okay, so if you're preparing for Laravel job interview, then if you prepare this some basic questions, then it will be easy for you to crack your interviews. Okay, so in this video I'll cover the most commonly asked Laravel interview questions, okay, with answers also, plus some bonus tips impress your interviewer, like what you need to ask some questions to your interviewer. Okay, so that also I'll tell. So are you ready, guys? Yes, then comment in comment box like yes. Okay, so let's start it. So you can see, guys, if you're preparing for Laravel job interview, in this session we'll cover some most commonly asked Laravel interview questions and answers. Still, stay till the end for bonus tips to impress your interview. Okay, so this I have mentioned in PPT also. So you can see, guys, suppose if you're going for Laravel and if you have prepared some things like programming and all, then see, if you are a fresher, then these are the questions they might ask you. Okay, so the first question is, what is Laravel? Okay, so you need to tell the most important thing is Laravel is a free, okay, open source. It is a free open source and it is a PHP framework. Okay, it is a PHP framework. This is very important. That is PHP framework and designed for web application development following the MVC architecture. And this is very important, guys. MVC architecture. Okay, so the framework and MVC architecture you need to mention while answering this question. Okay, done. Fine. The next question we'll see, guys. So these are the I'm covering first some basic question, guys. So later in this also we will see some advanced also questions and some more advanced also. Okay, then you can see, guys, what are the key features of Laravel. So first one is built-in authentication. So there is a built-in authentication. Then we can use the eloquent ORM, blade templating engine, middleware, task scheduling, and artisan command. Okay, so this is this is a good feature, I can say, is that is built-in authentication is there. Then there is a task scheduling we can do here, cron jobs also. Then artisan command is very important, blade files are there. So these are the some features of Laravel, you can say. Okay, then MVC architecture in Laravel. So what is MVC in Laravel? So they might ask you what is MVC. So MVC is nothing but you know the full form, like is model view controller. Okay, so model, what it will do, it will handle the database operations. So what, for example, if you create a database, then the database, whatever the tables columns are there and table name, that we will include in our model file. Okay, so basically model will handle the database operation, whatever the database is there, that will be handled by model. Okay, then view means what, which displays the data to users. Okay, for example, it is like user interface, UI, where we can see. View means what, where we can see the things, we don't know the back end and all, we can see only the front end. Okay, that is view. Then controller means what, it is the I can say the middleware between the model and view, means manage the user request and business logic. So whatever the logic of our application, that will be written in controller. Okay, so all the logics and all we are writing in controller. And it's like it is handling like model and view, and controller is in between these two. Okay, so controller is very important, guys. For backend, I can say controller we use. Okay, fine. So this is the MVC architecture. You must know this, guys, if you're going for interview for Laravel interview. This is very important question, that is MVC model. What is that? Okay, done. Then next is what is, we will see some intermediate Laravel questions. So some basic questions which are very important, that I have covered, guys. Okay, In intermediate, they might ask you about routines. So what is routine in Laravel? So, and you can, they might ask you how does routine works in Laravel. So routines, there are, you can define this, guys. That is, if you go in routes, there is a web.php, right? So this also you need to explain, and which we use for web routes, and one more is api.php, which we use for API routes. Suppose if you're doing front end and back end both in Laravel only, then what all the web routes are there that you can define in web.php? Okay. For example, what all the bleed views are there, blade files are there that you can define in web.php, and what are the backend files are there that, like, for example, if I created any APIs and all, that you can define in api.php. Okay. So this is very important routine also, because our application will work on routine only, right? Okay, and you can give an example also, right? For example, root get. This is the root name, that is home. Then this is our controller, that's home controller. We are binded with class. Then there is a function that is index, which we are writing in our controller. So you can give one example also by writing in paper. Okay, so like this we define the roots and all. You can define get root or post root, anything. Okay. Okay, then guys, comment in comment box like it is okay. I got like that. Okay, fine. The next question will be like, that is, what is middleware? Okay, so you can see, guys, middleware filters the HTTP request before they reach the controller, and used for authentication, login, and course handling. Okay, so how this middleware works? See, guys, when a request is made to a Laravel application, okay, it goes through a series of middleware. When we request, it will go through a series of some middlewares are there in that it will go before reaching to the controller. And middleware can perform some actions like authentication. Example, if there is a user, if he is not logged in, or if he doesn't have the correct authentication, then it will check that also, guys. If it is not, if he is not authenticated person, then he will not allow, like HTTP request will not allow to him. Okay, so checking if the user is logged in before allowing access to certain pages. Okay, then logging means being a log of requests made to the applications, and course handling is nothing but allowing or restricting requests from different domains. Okay, so that is also very important. So course handling will do. Then modifying the request, changing request data before passing to the controller. So this will be done by the middle. Then next is eloquent ORM in Laravel. Okay, so now you can see, guys, they might ask you like explain what is eloquent ORM in Laravel. So you can tell built-in ORM that provides an active record implementation. So here you might be getting question like what is active record implementation, right? So active record implementation is nothing but, guys, means that each model corresponding to a database. For example, if there is an user, so user is a model name, so the database name will be the users, like that. They are corresponding to that. Okay, let's say we have a user model and that corresponding to a users table, like that it will be. Fine. So suppose if you want to learn more about this, then you will get the details. If you go in Laravel documentation, that you will get more, means in full depth you will get all the details. So you can check there and you can give one example. So you can see here where used a model. So corresponding this table will be users, like that. Okay. Then authentication in Laravel. So how does Laravel handles authentication? So as if you know about Laravel, then you might be knowing, guys, there is a built-in authentication system via artisan command we can do, guys, in Laravel. Okay, and there are some built, which is I can say, guys, in Laravel there is built-in function. So which is very useful. For example, if you're doing authentication in your application, then it is very useful, guys. There is sanctum method also, that also you can use. Okay, then which manages the login, registration, password. This will be what I can say. Uh, when we do this, when we use this built-in authentication, this will come automatically. This will get automatically. That is login, registration, and password request. So there is, as I told you, there is built-in authentication where we'll get a login, registration, and password, which will be inbuilt all the things. Okay, fine. So this is also very important. That is authentication. Then there are they might ask you some advanced Laravel question also. That is what is service providers in Laravel. So what are service providers? That is manage class binding, dependencies, injections, and bootstrapping services. Okay. So binding classes and interfaces defines the dependencies that Laravel should resolve automatically. Then dependency injection is nothing but inject required services where needed. So whatever, suppose for example, if you want any service that you can create also, and if there are available, that also you can use. Okay, and you can register, as I told you, you can register your custom service also. And there is bootstrap servicing also, that is setting the configuration, event listeners, and middlewares, etc. Okay, then last question is what is queues in Laravel and why it is used. So queues executes a task asynchronously. For example, sending emails, background jobs, which will helps in improving the application performance. So queues also are there in Laravel, guys, which will make our application functionality very fast also, and it works asynchronously. We can use your we can set here cron jobs also, and for sending emails and all, we use this queue technique, guys. Okay, fine. Then there is an Laravel API resources. So what is Laravel API resources? They might ask. So used for formatting the API responses. So whatever the API response is there, so to format that by using this. For example, return new user resources, like that. You can give example also. Okay, fine. So these are some questions, guys, which I have covered. If you go in Laravel documentation, there are lots of things, but these are some important questions I can say. Which you must know. Rather than this also, you need to learn not only these things, other things also you need to learn, but mention this also if you're preparing for Laravel interviews. Okay, fine. So some bonus tips for cracking the Laravel interviews. First one is build a small Laravel project to showcase your skills. Okay, so whatever the you can go in Google also is there also, you will get some small projects in Laravel. So just take that, practice that, so you can show your skill to interviewer, right? So do this one thing. Then understand the database relationships. This that is one to one, one to many, and many to many. This is also database relationships is important, guys. That is one to one to many. So understand just what it is. Okay, just check in Laravel documentation. You will get, guys, this. That is what is one to many, many to one. Okay, so these relationships is important. Then practice some Laravel commands. That is artisan commands like migrate for creating model, for creating controller, for creating emails and all. Okay, so learn these commands. Then learn about testing in Laravel using PHP unit and feature text. Okay, so these are, just prepare this all the things, guys. These are some bonus tips I can say, which you can showcase to your interview. Okay, then next surprise tips means, well, if anyone is taking interview to you, then you can ask some question to them, like, so you can ask like, can you tell me about more, sorry, can you tell me more about the current Laravel projects your team is working on. So if you ask this question, then that opposite person will understand how he is interested in projects and all, he has knowledge and all. So one plus point. Okay, so just go with this also, guys. Okay, so today's video conclusion is what, guys. That's it for today's Laravel preparation guide. Okay, so like, subscribe to my channel, guys, for more Laravel tutorials as well as different tutorials. Not only Laravel, because I cover Laravel also, React also, Razorpay also, Postman also, APIs also, right? Node.js also. Okay, so like, share, and subscribe, and comment below on what topic you want next. Okay, so that also comment, guys. And if you have any questions, that also you can comment. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, and keep supporting, guys.